You're muted.
Hello, Sandra.
Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay. Where are you and what are you serving us and what time of day is it? Are you got breakfast, lunch, dinner, or dessert or snacks before bed?
Well, I'm from Washington, D.C. in US. It's about 9:29 here, and I'm serving an oatmeal coffee to stay awake.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We're going to hand it back to Lydia and she's going to get us all muted, please.
Thank you,
Lydia?
Sandra. Dear members, and especially our visitors and guests, please note the following important announcement. By attending the remote Zoom meeting event, which is also live streamed on YouTube, you agree to the public policy of Toastmasters International as well as the unassociated remote hosting service. Some of your personal information, such as name, image, and any shared messages, will be recorded. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International and Leadership Speak and or any of its members from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or in connection with the use or distribution of said video recordings, including but not limited to any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeness, or defamation. Zoom Master, please start the recording. Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmasters club for leadership development. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. My name is Lydia Wanjiku, your Sergeant at Arms today in this meeting. What is our mission? We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater confidence and personal growth. Our leadership statement, Leadership Speak, is a premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything that we do. Our timer has a virtual hand raised so we can all see immediately as we keep good time. Our Toastmaster of the day, who will lead us in this meeting, is Toastmaster Nellie Jane. And Nellie Jane, she believes leadership is not about having everything figured out. It is about elevating through every transition with courage, authenticity, and heart. Please join me in welcoming Nellie Jane. Nellie Jane, over to you.
Thank you so much, Lydia, to our SAA. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. Welcome, everyone, to another inspiring session of Leadership Speak. A warm welcome to all of you, my fellow Toastmasters, and to our distinguished guest. I am Nelly, and it is both an honor and a privilege to serve as your Toastmaster of the day for this meaningful gathering. Our theme for today is Leaders in Transition. But before we dive into that, I want to pause for a while to acknowledge the most important people in our room, our guests. Whether you're joining us for the first time or whether you're returning, we are so thrilled to have you here. Your presence really makes this gathering extra special. Someone will be posting, our PR master will be posting a link of our guest book in the chat. Once it is posted, it is posted. Thank you so much, Irene. Now, the link is posted. Please take a moment to register. Click that link. Tell us a bit about yourself and let us know how we can support you in your leadership journey. Going back, leaders in transition. When you hear the word transition, what is the first thing that immediately comes to your mind? Do you think of uncertainty, or an excitement, or a challenge, responsibilities, opportunities, a new role, a new team, a new chapter, a new responsibility, or maybe a new version of yourselves? Transitions, of course, can sometimes feel uncomfortable at first, like we are standing between who we are used to be and who we are still becoming. But maybe it's also what leadership truly is, because leadership is often not tested during the calm, comfortable moments. It's also tested when things begin to change. Transitions sometimes arrive looking like confusion, like uncertainties, like awkward first attempts, like smiling confidently while internally panicking. It's like updating your phone into a new one, and suddenly you don't even know where the settings button is anymore. But that's the beauty of leadership, my fellow Toastmasters. That is where growth begins. Because every leader was once unfamiliar with the role they are now carry confidently. And every confident speaker was once so nervous to even unmute themselves and talk. Also, every strong leader at some point had to transition from, I hope I can do this, to, I may not know everything yet, but I am willing to grow through it. And that is why I love today's theme so much, because leadership transitions are not signs that we are failing. They are also signs that we are evolving. And here at Leadership Speak, we do not simply learn how to communicate. We learn how to adapt, to elevate, and to encourage others. We learn to lead even when things feel uncertain too. So today, I want to encourage everyone. Laugh a little louder, speak a little braver, participate a little more, and more importantly, allow yourselves to grow. Because maybe the transition you are currently facing is preparing you for the leader you are becoming. And so with that, let us begin today's meeting with this energy, courage, and lots of leadership speak magic. To officially open today's reflections, we have someone who believes that leadership in transition is about evolving from managing tasks to inspiring people, creating impact, and building legacy that empowers others to go beyond us. Today, he will help us raise not only our glasses, but also our mindset for the meeting ahead. Please help me warmly welcome our toast, Iris Cassinela. Over to you.
You're muted. You're muted.
Transition is one of the few things in life that's a guarantee. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests and friends and guests, pause and think about what sort of transitions are going on around you. Look at your organization. Look at your business. Look at your church. Look at your home. Transition is all around us. I got a phone call. Yes, boss. Irish. Be informed. You are changing role and you are changing asset. I was shocked. I'm changing roles and I'm changing asset. In the last 15 years in my organization, I have seen the transitions every 3 years, plus minus. Every 3 years, there was something happening. And if you don't like it, just wait another 3 years. Oh, good. There he was with a new asset, with a new role, with a new team. Today, I ask myself, how can I help others grow? 10 years ago, I asked myself, how can I help myself grow in this transition with the new people, new asset? It's challenging. Leadership is not made in comfort. Leadership is made under pressure, under complexities. I know many of you today are in leadership positions. It's a time for us to pause and reflect on the transitions we have been through, we are going through, and they will come. Transitions are the only constant. Transitions are the only constant. I have learned throughout those 15 years that competence will take you here. But once you reach a level in leadership, competence is not enough anymore. As leaders, we need to be able to embrace transitions and to walk through these transitions. When I received that call that day, I thought to myself, here, I either swim or I sink. I chose to swim. And today I want you to invite you all to choose to swim every time there is a transition. Do not sink, but swim every time you encounter a transition, a change in your life, in your organization, in your church. Like I said, transition is everywhere. If you take nothing more from this, and before we toast, be adaptable in the face of transition. Be adaptable in the face of transition. Let me ask you, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and friends, to raise your glass, unmute yourself, and repeat after me. We are all leaders in transition. Let's go.
We are all leaders in
transition.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Over to you, Toastmaster of today.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, Iris. Indeed, we are all leaders in transition. Going forward, let us now meet the amazing people that help make today's meeting successful. Every great Toastmasters know this truth. No matter how inspiring your speech, the Toastmaster timing light still exists. And so today, we have someone making sure our transition stays smooth, disciplined, and beautifully scheduled. Please welcome everyone, our guardian of our precious minutes, our timer, Herline Hammock. Herline, tell us about your role today.
Good day, fellow Toastmasters. I am your timer for today's meeting. I will time each speaker according to the agenda and signal using visual background colors, green, yellow, and red. And I will, after each segment, I will post the timing results in the chat. Thank you. TMOD.
Thank you so much, Helene. Next, we have someone whose leadership journey has been shaped through many transitions, new positions, added responsibilities, and moments of stepping forward when things felt unfamiliar for her. Today, she'll help sharpen not only our grammar, but also our awareness and how powerful language can become in times of change. Our grammarian, Rosie Rana. Tell us about your role and today's word of the day.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding quotes, sayings, thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day today is elevate. Elevate is a verb which means to move or to raise to a higher place or position, to lift up. An example of elevate in a sentence is incoming officers will be aiming to elevate our club to an even higher level of excellence. I encourage every one of you to use the word of the day in your speeches, in any role, in your evaluations, or any other role. Thank you very much. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Rosie, our grammarian. We look forward to hearing your report later. So, our amazing guest, I am calling you out again. Are you warming up nicely? Have you had a chance to fill out our guest book? If not, no worries. Someone in the chat or peer master will post the link in a while, and there she is. So fast, Irene. So if you haven't filled it out yet, go ahead, click that link, and we'd love to know a little more about you and stay connected beyond today's meeting. Thank you so much, our dear guest. So we will move to the speeches. There are speeches that simply inform us. And then there are speeches that will quietly challenge us to rethink who we are becoming. Our educational speaker today is someone whose leadership presence carries both wisdom and confidence. A leader who not only understands that the transitions are not interruptions to leadership, they are also part of leadership itself. And honestly, when our president, Holmes Teng, speaks, you do not just listen, you reflect. So today, he will deepen our meeting theme through his speech. His evaluator will be Tony Bratschitsch. Tell us something about our leadership speaker speech today.
Hey, hello, everybody. Holmes's presentation is from the Presentation Mastery Pathways, Level 5, Project 1, Prepare to Speak Professionally. The objective of this project is to present a keynote-style speech exemplifying a professional level speaker's point of view or message in a style that supports and elevates the speech content. The title is Transit Gracefully. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Tony. So now, Holmes Teng, Transit Gracefully. Transit Gracefully, Holmes Teng.
We all know change is all around us. It happens in our personal life. In my personal life, one year after another, my loved ones fall very sick. After one has passed, the other was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. We move in and out of leadership roles. Our bosses change. Last year, my director changed. And as things go on, teammates may change, the practices may change. What is believed to be the best may also change. My speech here today is about change, but more than change, as fellow leaders here, members and guests, by your presence here in Leadership Speak, a club that is all about leadership, I know that you are interested in leadership. You are a leader. And here, this is the club to become a better self-directed leader. Hence, the perspective that we are using here is not a passive one. Oh, there's some change. What can I do? But more of, yes, there is a change. When there is a change, there is an opportunity. There is an opportunity for growth. There is an opportunity for new beginnings. There is an opportunity for us to adapt, to adjust, to shift, and to bring out the best that we can in ourselves and others. So how do we do this? We do this first by recognizing, acknowledging, yesterday has ended. Let's not sweat over what happened yesterday. We do learn from our lessons of the past, but we don't dwell in the past. Today is here. There is a fresh day. Let us recognize and embrace the fresh day and lead from there gracefully. And here, I propose to everyone here, adopt a CAR framework as we transit gracefully. Move it a car. What does the CAR stand for? Clarify, adapt, and relate. Let us start our CAR journey. Clarify. At the very core, any leader must have clarity. It's a must. We must be clear. There are two main questions that I offer of the definition of clarity. Question 1, what do I want? This is the individual. This is work that only you can do, I can do, individuals can do. We need to be very clear what stage of life we are at, what are our struggles, what are our emotions, and therefore, what is it that we want at this stage in time? 1 year ago, when I joined Leadership Speak and subsequently take on presidency, it was about communication skills. It's about improving myself as a leader and how I communicate as a leader so as to motivate people, to inspire people, to focus on the quality of growth of people, as well as to experiment with different systems in place so that members are aware what to do and we focus on the growth that we can obtain. What do I want? And why am I here? Knowing what I want to learn, knowing what I want to experience, then comes the club or your workplace or your community. Why are you here? Why do you choose to be here? And I emphasize the word choice. When I came to Leadership Speak first as the guest, I made the choice. I want to listen and observe. And then when I joined, again, it's a choice. I saw that this club is of value. I saw that this platform would enrich me. I saw the potential that as I am enriched, I can also learn better how to enrich the people around me. Enrichment. And when we have this clarity, members here and future members, we have guests here, future members too. When you join, it is a commitment, especially in an advanced club like Leadership Speak. It's not about passively sitting at the back, waiting for someone to hand you a silver spoon or a golden spoon. Come, do a speech. That's not going to happen. In an advanced club like Leadership Speak, where we want everybody to become a better self-directed leader, it is a commitment to your growth. It is a commitment that because of your growth, because of your goals, you do what you can in the club, in service, and as a group, as a community, we grow together. You start this as the basis. Yes, there is a lot of uncertainty. Yes, there is a lot of things to adapt. But at the very basis, there are things that don't change. You don't change who you are. You don't change the things that you are after. You don't change your commitment that when you join, you renew. You are committed to the club. Here, I return to the uncertainties. They still exist. And we have the second letter of our car, adapt. I acknowledge, and I believe every single one of us here also do, that life sometimes throws us in areas, throws us in seasons of life that we don't want to be in. We dread it, we hate it, we are anxious each and every moment that we continue to dwell in those moments. But it's life. When we decide to become a leader, part of it, it's also acknowledging that there are parts of our lives that are outside of our control. We don't deny them. We have to accept them because it is only when we are clear what it is that we are facing, including things that we are uncertain about, to recognize that there are things that I cannot control. There are things that I may not know that we can lead. And here, adaptability is key. How do you adapt? You adapt by focusing on your vision. I started CAR, the car, with clarity. When you are clear on who you are, when you are clear on what you want, when you are clear on why you are in a community, what do you have? You have a clear vision. You can see it, you can feel it, you know the why, you know the passions, you know the joy of being able to be in a particular circumstance that you want to create. You want to co-create with a community. That is your vision. Members and guests, fellow self-directed leaders, be very clear here. A vision is not your timeline. A vision, it's not which method you use. A vision is not even a milestone. All these are not your visions. These are merely steps, stepping stones, you may want to call it. Part of the process for you to get towards your vision. And here, what is the application? The application is that when we communicate, when we set our goals as a community, we are very clear that there are things that are non-negotiables, our vision. And at the same time, we have adaptability and flexibility by knowing, okay, we have this thing that we want to do. What is the best estimate? What is the best estimate timeline that we have, that we set? Of course, we remain disciplined. Of course, we commit to it and we will do what we can. But given that there are unexpected circumstances, we cannot say that just because we commit to it, it will happen. What we can do is that when we commit to it, the actions, we will do everything we can to realize this goal with the estimated timeline. And if you are learning or researching on something, with the best understanding at this point in time of the best methods, and you set your milestones accordingly to track progress. Especially in a changing environment, especially when you are learning. Recognizing you have a vision that you're constantly working towards. And at each time, each review, which can be daily, can be weekly, can be monthly, you are reviewing how close you are. Estimated timelines, estimated methods, estimated milestones. And you will adapt all this so that with the best knowledge, you continue on track towards your vision. I offer you a metaphor. As we communicate, as we set our goals, as we think, as we brainstorm together, there will be times. We are vulnerable. And I say, I function best when I not only recognize I'm vulnerable, but I also have people I can trust around me to share the vulnerability, to share the uncertainty. And as we go along, we also recognize the dilemmas in our decision. Just because I want better processes may not mean now is the best time to do it. There are other factors and constraints in place. There are views that can be true at the same time, while they seem contradictory. And at each time, estimate. What are your best timeline methods and milestones? Estimate them. Once you have your estimates, be like a chameleon. Adapt to it. Embrace it. Accept it. And it is through this estimate that we can live with our vulnerabilities, our uncertainties and dilemmas, while moving towards our vision. Adapt. Clarify, adapt. And finally, from the car, we have relate. Fellow leaders, we are only leaders because we have people around us. These are human beings, fellow human beings with high and low moments in life, human beings with friends and families. Therefore, regardless whether this is a work context, it is some kind of voluntary organization, or some kind of very, very informal setting, always remember, at the heart of things, you are dealing with human beings. And it is our fundamental core job as leaders, even if you don't have an authority or a position, it is our core job to relate. We connect, we relate, we ask them about their lives. Genuinely find out of interest. When they are sad, when they are down, empathize with those emotions. When it's their high moments, celebrate with them. Because all this are essential As part of social creatures, we all are human beings. And it is with this relationship, this connectivity, that we can journey together towards our goal. It is essential. It is essential that we relate, that we connect. We are genuinely concerned about the people around us, and we work with the people around us. This goes especially to the special occasion of Leadership Speak. Leadership Speak members, today we are having our club elections right after the meeting. Remember why you choose to join the club. Remember why. There is a part of you that decided that you needed something. There is a part of you that decided the club, it's something that you can commit to and you want to commit to as part of your personal growth journey. And you choose to be here as a team. We choose to be here as a team. We choose to come together and support one another. And as we go through the years of our club, as we transit through the leaders, transit through the roles of our club, whether you may be slightly taking a back seat because of certain things that's going on in your lives, or you are taking on the front seat, remember the common aspects that we all have here to become better self-directed leaders. I would go as far as to say, it doesn't even matter who is there in charge at different points in time, because the common spirit is far more important. And if you want to ask a who, perhaps the best question to ask is, why not me? When can I take charge? When can I take on some of these positions and roles? Especially when you know, and you remember, you recall, you must recall that you choose to be here because you recognize yourself as an experienced Toastmaster, here to become a better, self-directed leader. Why are you taking a back seat then? Take on the front seat. Engage, connect, commit. Members and guests, I bring you back to the team. Leaders in transition. When we transit, I urge every one of you. This is a special occasion for the elections, but beyond that, it also applies in your personal lives, in your work setting, in your other communities, your local communities. There will be many transitions in life. Regardless what's the transition that you're dealing with, start with clarity. Clarity is something that we all must do. It's a must. Start with clarity. Ask yourself, do your self-awareness work. What are the things that you are going through? What are the emotions that you have? What are your dreams and aspirations? Write them down. Look at the communities that you are in. Connect your communities that you are in. Members, Leadership Speak is the core community today. Connect the communities that you're in with the goals, with your personal self. You personally are involved. Clarify. And when you have that clarity, recognize all the vulnerabilities, the uncertainties, and the dilemmas in life. Recognize them. In a community that you can trust. I trust members in Leadership Speak. And you ought to, fellow members. You ought to have the connections that you commit to having. Recognize, co-recognize each other's vulnerabilities, weaknesses and strengths, uncertainties, anxieties. recognize them, but not dwell in them for the sake of, oh, I'm so sad today, let's be sad for one whole day. No. Recognize them. So as much as we are aware of each other's weaknesses, we are clear that we're making estimates of our timelines, of our methods, of our goals, so we can all work towards our vision step by step. And do all this carefully relating to your fellow members, your fellow beloved members who are going through high and low moments in their lives, but yet still here committed to journey with you to collectively become better self-directed leaders. Hence, members, especially the elections that are coming, whoever that runs, whoever that doesn't run, it's okay. Whoever that gets elected, support them. Support them not by sitting at the back and missing out on meetings. Support them by being present. Support them by taking up roles. Support them when you have views, when you have better ways to do things. Voice it out. Voice it out. Voice it out to them. Voice it out. We have multiple member meetings. You can even coordinate your own member meeting and facilitate from there. Then grow as a club. Grow as a club. Because this is what you have chosen to commit to. Clarify your commitments. Be clear. Adapt at all times to the uncertainties and the dilemmas that's around. It's okay. It's part of life. Relate carefully to the people around. And as a team, I am confident we can all become better self-directed leaders. We can all serve our communities better. We can all make the world a better place as we all collectively envision them to be. TMOD.
Wow. Thank you so much, President Holmes. Teng. Indeed. Change is all around us. Clarify, adapt, relate, take on the front seat. To our guest, how do you find our meeting so far? Shortly in the chat, there will be a link of the guest book. And I invite you, there it is, to sign up that guest book, click on that link, and let us know about your comments and feedbacks. So now moving forward, it's time for us to go to the prepared speeches. Our speakers today will take us through stories of uncertainties, resilience, teamwork, growth, and purpose. And honestly, just looking at the speech titles really making me more curious. So going on, our first speaker. Our first speaker is someone returning on with renewed energy and inspiration all the way from Tanzania. Fresh from attending the Toastmaster East Africa conference in Kigali, she comes back inspired, recharged, and ready to share another meaningful story with us. Her evaluator will be Udeshi Joseph. Hi, Udeshi. Tell us something about
Hi,
Rashmi.
Nelly.
Where's
Hi,
your speech?
everyone. Rashmi will present a speech on the PAC Presentation Mastery Level 1. She's working on the project Vocal Variety, Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. The purpose of this project is for her to practice using vocal variety and body language to enhance her speech. When I was talking to her during the week, she asked me, to look how she engaged the audience. She will have 5 to 7 minutes to present the speech. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Usually. Rashmi Udeshi. A ticket, a stampede, and an angel. A ticket, a stampede, and an angel. Rashmi Udeshi.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Dear fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, have you ever been in a stampede? Well, I have, and today I'm going to share you my story. It was on 19th of August 25. My nephew was sitting on a chair and all of a sudden he got up excitedly and he said, "Let's go to the stadium and watch the football match." "Football match?" I asked him. "When is it?" He said, 40 minutes from now. So we all quickly dressed up. He got us the tickets and we all went there. And guess what? We went there nicely and we are looking to the left and right. There are seats and seats. And we are about 300 people. No, not 3,000. You have heard me correctly. Not 30,000. 300 people on the stadium. And the match was African National Championship. The match was the earlier stage, and it was between Nigeria and Congo. This match went on, and finally Nigeria won 2-0. And we were very excited. It's the first time I'm in a stadium, and that's in Benjamin Mkapa Stadium. It's a huge stadium. And I'm thrilled that I got an opportunity to be on the stadium and witness live. And finally, with that experience, we all went back, reminding us of beautiful memories it had. Little did I know, football was not all that was that day. 3 days later, I went to drop my nephew. He was flying back to India, and there was a counter which was Total Energies, and they were sponsors for the event, and they were selling tickets. So out of curiosity, I'm not a person who sees football fixtures every time, but it had created that energy. I asked, "Are the tickets available? When is the next match?" So she's saying, "Just hold on, Subiri Kidogo." And she went on the laptop and she's saying, Dio, moja ticket, one ticket is available." And I asked, "Only one?" She said, "Yes." And she said, "Today, Tanzania, Taifa Stars are playing." Oh, wow, I became so excited. I looked at my spouse and I looked at her. And finally, my spouse said, okay, he understood. Okay, you can go with her. I will go back home. So there, with a stranger who is turning my friend, she gave me the sponsored ticket and a sponsored seat. Reaching the stadium, little did I know what I was entering into. That day was Taifa Star playing. Did you know what that means for Tanzania? Taifa Star is playing Tanzania's match, and it is quarter-final. And so there I go. I'm seeing people all around me, queues and queues of people, policemen with the dog. Dogs are barking. And then Nazma, my friend, said, "I am from the sponsors. Please let me in." The police say, "No, you are accompanying, somebody is accompanying you. You need to wait. You need to wait in the queue." So there we were waiting. And finally, she managed to convince them to let us go. But at the same time, police opened the barricades and the tickets, were sold at $1. And there were so many people. You can't guess that. And I was in middle, to the left, to the right, people, front, people, back, people. I've never been in a stampede. You know what that is? It's fear is gripping me. And I'm so fearful. I'm looking at Nazma. Nazma is looking at me. And there she gives me her hand and she tells, hold me, I will take you. So there I'm holding her hand, having the full trust. She said, trust me. I said, yes, I'm trusting you. And there I'm going. And I have clutched a purse under my armpit and I have my glasses inside and we are all tightly packed. The transportation is the push from somebody. We are in the stampede. Imagine being in a stampede. It was terrifying. Finally, I reach inside. The gates are open and there the match begins. And match is between Tanzania, Taifa Stars. The first half, almost when we are reaching the interval, kick, and there's the first goal. Imagine that goal was, by Morocco. It was Tanzania and Morocco match. First goal was by Morocco. Ooh, second half. Second half was nail biting. Nail biting because now Tanzania had to get some points on that scoreboard. And we all are wondering, as the striker comes closer to the goalpost, and there they say, oh no, he can't do it. So many missed chances, so many missed goals. What is going to happen? Finally, Tanzania lost. But I survived that moment. And I survived that moment. And today, as I come back from that, I have one important lesson. And I'm so grateful for my dear friend Nazma. This is the story where after the match, though Morocco won, Taifa Star lost. My dear occupational classes broke into two pieces. I'm sorry, did not survive, but I survived. I survived that match, and I'm so grateful. And today I want you to take this message with you. In times of fears and uncertainty, there's always an angel, and that angel to me is Nazma. And today I would like to share Nazma's picture and me in that crowd. Am I able to share it?
Yes, please.
Can you assist in sharing? I would like you to leave with this picture of mine and Nazma's. Sorry, let me just quickly share it. So, thank you. I'm ever grateful to Nazma, my angel friend who was there with me. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Rashmi, for sharing to us your story and for reminding us sometimes in the middle of missed goals, broken glasses, we will survive the moment. Moving on to our second speaker. Leadership becomes easy when the skies are clear. But the real test of leadership begins when storms arrive, when uncertainty rises, and when pressure increases. And our next speaker understands this deeply. A Toastmasters for 5 years, a past area director, the VP Education of Wings of Magic Toastmasters Club in Dubai. And now he has seen leadership not only in moments of success, but also in moments requiring resilience and unity. Please help me welcome our next speaker, Paramjit Singh, and he will be evaluated by Atul Sankar. Atul, please tell us about Paramjit's speech.
Sure, thank you. I will be evaluating Toastmaster Paramjit Singh, our very own Paramjit Singh, and the purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to effectively communicate change to a group or organization. The purpose of the speech is for the member to practice speaking about change. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes, and the pathway is visionary communication, level 4, project 1. Hands to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Atul. Paramjit Singh, weathering the storm together. Weathering the storm together, Paramjit Singh. Over to you.
Before I begin my speech, I would like to tell you that this presentation I had to make about 1.5 months before, but there was nothing substantial, nothing concrete to share some communication of the change. But something happened within the last 1 month. And now this is a real story, real what happened and how pathway, my project helped me to pass through this very difficult situation. So I begin this talk. This is for my employees. Good morning, everyone. Last night, most of us heard the sounds which we were never imagining in our life that we will be hearing them in Dubai. A warning signal, then a missile threat, and thought, a powerful sound. Of course, it didn't touch most of the infrastructure, but this was one of the thousands of missiles and drones fired towards UAE in last 2.5 months. And everyone, almost 95% of them were able to intercept it. It couldn't make much damage to infrastructure. But missile does not only threaten the infrastructure. Every missile fired towards a nation strikes something very invisible. That is your strength, your confidence, your power surviving, and your happiness as a normal, ordinary person. And wars are never only fought on the borders. Sometimes, every time, they slowly creeped in our daily lives, our homes, our offices, our dreams, and even our dining tables. And in this situation, of course, the fear grips the society. And this leads to uncertainty in the businesses. And the companies start to begin struggle. And they have to take some unavoidable, necessary actions. That's why I am in front of you, not as a manager alone today, but as a human being who has given a very difficult task. I think in last 15 years, this is the hardest conversation I'm going to have with all of you. As you all know, our company, as other businesses in our region, are under very immense pressure, financial pressures. Many of you might have witnessed the situation around us. Few of the companies are closed, and few of them have reduced their productions. And in some of the cases, the salaries are reduced by 35 to 40%. Even somewhere, people have lost their jobs. Thank God, by the grace of God and careful planning and everyone's support, our company managed to not to come to this certainly very difficult decisions. However, it is really very much tight position for everyone, particularly financially. So, after discussions and looking at the different perspectives, different angles, company has to take one painful but very necessary action. and a decision. From now onward, for next 3 months, the salaries will be reduced by 5 to 15%, depending upon your salary structure as well as your position and your responsibilities. Of course, most of the employees will be in the range of 5 to 10%, but management and me, we will be taking us even the higher position. So in this particular situation, if we are in such a situation where this is the only option which is possible, and this is not because of survival of place of survival or place of survival of the company, but place of survival of every individual, company, human being, every family who is passing through this difficult time. Believe me, if there is any other options which can be used to come out of this situation, the management would have certainly done it. And 100%, we know that every sleep there's something behind: a mother waiting for medicines, a child waiting for education fees, and full family support, and whole family's hope left on these salaries. And I'm very clear, I cannot ask any one of you to sacrifice anything unless I do more better than this, you. And this is my paper. I've already signed the agreement of 15% of my salary. So in this situation, maybe few of us want to go back home, return home to take care of the family or peace of mind. The company will be not at all judgmental. You will be returned back once the situation comes. And we all know that next few months are very critical. But I promise you, on behalf of the management, that we will be reviewing the situation very actively. And if the situation improves, salaries will come back to the normal again. We will talk, we will communicate with truthfulness and honesty. And we will do every possible way that nobody lost the job. Only thing I want to ask you is not about your understanding now. I'm asking for your unity, your patience, as well as your trust on us. And I know, working with you all from last 15 years, when we are together, and I believe we are more stronger than the fear, more stronger than the uncertainty, and more stronger than the harsh times. War will end, missile will stop, but people will remember that how we work together. So let us work together, encourage one another, stand together to face these harsh times. And may the peace prevail soon with every home, every nation, and every heart. Thank you very much for your time. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Paramjit Singh. Indeed, we are more stronger than the fear, the uncertainty, than the harsh time that we had. And people will always remember on how we'll work together, especially during this hard time. Thank you so much, Paramjit, for sharing your story to us. And with that, we'll go now to our third speaker. Our third speaker, Ray, is someone who is deeply respected here in Leadership Speak. He is a charter member of the leadership. Reminds us that true leadership this also means knowing when to mentor successors and gracefully pass responsibilities forward, because nothing lasts forever but great leadership that leaves a legacy. His evaluator will be Robin Stone. So, Robin, tell us something about Ray's speech.
Thank you very much, Nelly Jan. Ray is going to be presenting a project from the Leadership Excellence series. And this particular project is dealing with goal setting and planning, which I think is very appropriate for today's meeting. So back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Robin. Ray Rivero. We all set goals for ourselves and for our team. Today, Ray will share to us his observations and experiences about setting goals and how planning helps accomplish them. So without further ado, please help me welcome Ray Rivero. Set and accomplish your goals. Set and accomplish your goals, Ray Rivero.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, fellow leadership members and guests. We're coming to the end of another Toastmasters year. Did you set any goals, and how close are you to completing them? What I wanted to share with you is there are always times that we need to kind of go back and figure out how we set goals in the first place. If you haven't started your goals yet for this Toastmaster year, you got 6 weeks. If you're planning to start your goals when the new Toastmaster year starts July 1st, you're also in the right place. So, first question. Does anybody know what a goal is? I'll tell you what it is. It's a specific objective that either you or your team must achieve. Wait. Must achieve? Is the goal imposed on you, or do you want to set the goal for you and your team? So I argue it's more than just a must. It's a want. I want to accomplish this goal. I want to get this objective done, and I want to be a better person because of it. That's what a goal really is about. And if you're willing to throw in your heart and soul into it, it might be just a worthwhile goal. It might be a way to find what your why is all about. If you don't know what your why is, that's what you need to find to set your goal. I'm going to cover this presentation in 3 parts. Toastmasters has their canned presentation. That's the theory. But we're an advanced club. You want more than just the theory. Anybody can go onto the Toastmaster website and read that. Now, how about some personal examples? And maybe a team example. Now you're talking, Ray. That's what we want to hear. So what are you waiting for, Ray? Get started. Okay, calm down. I'll get started, please. So, why do we want to plan out our goals? Do we want to reinforce what we want to accomplish? We're certainly going to plan for the future. When we set out our goals, we have to plan, and sometimes when we plan and try to carry it out, a little crazy thing called life steps in, and always at the most inopportune moment. That's when you got to coordinate decisions. That's when you got to use your resources effectively. The 2 most common ones, time and energy. Money is also involved too, but I'm going to concentrate on time and energy because that's the 2 things that are definitely in our control. And then the results for our goal is what we begin and the end of in mind. What's the why? If you know how to express it when you begin with the end in mind, you know what you want to do. You are ready to go forward with your goal. So be smart. Name it. To tame it. If you don't write down your goal, if you don't know how to express it, if it's 100 words or more, that's not a good goal. Try something else. Keep it simple. Keep it specific. How are you going to measure the progress of this goal? What actions are going to be involved? Are they realistic? Or is it a pie in the sky pipe dream? And finally, you're going to set a timeline, right? You're not going to set a goal and says, oh, I'm going to do this forever. Yeah, right, says nobody. And you don't have to do this alone. You can involve others. No one is an island. Get them off the bench and bring them to the front. Have them join you on your journey to accomplish your goal. And once in a while, be sure to review your progress, especially when life decides to rear its ugly head and interfere in the progress of your goals. So now let's plan out the steps. It's going to be specific. It's going to be measurable. I said how long, and maybe you might have to delegate some of your goals and have it take action. There's going to be some obstacles, as I mentioned before, so you better expect the unexpected. And you also need to be realistic. Let me share with you one example of a personal goal. I've actually am in the process of completing all 11 of the original Pathways paths. What's my why? My passion is education. And being the vice president of education, I felt that doing most of the projects and all the paths would help me become a better vice president of education, or at least education in general within Toastmasters, because I have done the projects. I have been through the paths. I gained experience for good and for bad. So let me see where I am on July 1st, 2025. So let's go back in time. I'm going to go check my base camp. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, goodness. No. I got 3 paths open. I'm trying to do this in a year. I got to do level 4s and level 5 projects. Ugh. Each one of those has 2 projects. And then I got to do a reflect. That's, oh goodness, that's 20 speeches. Ooh, that's pretty intimidating. And then October 25, 2025 appears, and it got even better. Toastmasters International's board of directors or whoever must have taken a look at my Basecamp profile and say, let's go ahead and make life difficult for Ray. Let's give him 2 educational speeches for each of those levels for him to do. Oh, geez. And let's make sure that he does all these roles. After all, he's aiming to be a better Toastmaster. Oh, come on. They moved the goalpost on me. No. They changed the goalpost on me. I was about to hit the penalty kick, and just when I was about to move it, they changed that 6-meter wide goal into a hockey goal. Go ahead and hit the penalty. Don't mind the goalie in front of it. So what do? Well, let's start with the speeches. In a typical club, they would meet 2 meetings every month. And then there's 12 months. And there's going to be 3 slots open per club, per meeting. So now I have 2 meetings times 3 slots times 12 months. That's a potential of 72 possible openings for me to do speeches. Did I tell you that it was 20 speeches? Now, this is where the reality kicks in. How many of you have done 20 Toastmaster speeches in a year? You have to spread it out. But trying to do it in one club, you're going to do all that with one club, hogging all of the speaking roles, and you're going to present in 20 of the 24 meetings of that year? Don't forget about your meeting roles. And you might have to do an education speech or two. So that's where the reality comes in. Maybe you're going to do a high performance leadership project goes, how can I burn myself out accomplishing this goal in Toastmasters? But seriously, you have to be realistic about this. I might have to do this and join another club to narrow it down. I'll have to spread out those speeches. Like Rome wasn't built in a day, and my goal isn't going to be accomplished in an hour. So let's go into a team example and how such a goal can be accomplished for a team. Now, we talk about Leadership Speak being one of the top 5 clubs globally. How did we accomplish that? We take a look at one specific statistic, the number of levels and paths that we have completed over the year. That's specific. Then we are measurable. We have 2 tools to do that. We take a look at our Distinguished Club Program dashboard, and we look at each and every one of our agendas when we plan things out. Let's take a look at an ideal situation. Leadership Speak has 50 meetings a year. We have roughly about 5 speaking slots, give or take. I'm going to keep this simple for mathematical purposes. So that's 250 potential speaking slots. Okay, that's great. Maybe I can take the 20 speeches that I was planning to do and put some of it here in Leadership Speak. What? Wait a minute, not so fast. What if the Executive Committee has a new goal? We're going to set up 25 Triple Crown winners strictly from Leadership Speak. Ooh. Okay. That's roughly about 10 speeches per person, give or take a few, depending on the levels. And then you have 25 people. Yes, only 25? You got it. There's a problem. What's 25 times 10? 250. How many speaking slots we have open? 250. How do you fit everything in? What, double or nothing? Triple or nothing? Let's roll the dice. Boom. I know we're action-oriented and we are very ambitious, but let's be realistic. Maybe our first speech is a high-performance leadership project of how we get a team burned out. No. We don't do that thing here at Leadership Speak. We know we want to do it timely. We want to get everything done in a year. We want to have those awards. We want to be sure that we are the best club in the world. Not just District 86, not just in Region 5, the world. That's our ambition. But we have to be realistic on doing our speeches. We want to do it timely. We got to do it action-oriented. We got to get those people on the back benches bringing forward. We're going to work together as a team. That's an example of how we work together. And yes, we have to figure out how we're going to work this together, because when you start up this goal, but you remember a little thing called life, it can kind of interfere. And we have to be very careful that we are able to have everybody speak. We don't just want people on the back bench to just sit there. Oh, I enjoy your speech. Are you going to do a speech? No, but I'm going to enjoy this speech back here. No, that's not Leadership Speak. We're going to take people on the back bench and we're going to have them earn a Triple Crown. So that's just an example of how we work together, setting our goal as a team to accomplish. So in summary, when we set our goals, planning is key. It's a key to success. We got to be smart, specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, emphasis on the realistic, and remember, we have an end in mind, so it's got to be timely. And if you're struggling to get those goals, ask for help. Talk to the Executive Committee of Leadership Speak. Talk to the members, especially those that are in the back. Bring them to the front. And then again, there's your goals. So let me ask you, each and every member here today, and our guests as well, how are you going to accomplish your goals for next year? Have you named them yet? Are you going to ask for help? And more importantly, how are you going to accomplish them? Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Ray. Thank you so much for reminding us to think and reflect on our Toastmaster goals. Indeed, planning is the key when we set our goals. Fellow Toastmasters, especially to our guests, I can see that we have a number of guests with us today, and you've just witnessed a series of wonderful speeches. How are you feeling so far? Inspired? Energized? Maybe even ready to elevate a few challenges of your own here? If you haven't signed or custodied, no worries. Our PR master has already posted the link in the chat. Go ahead, click that link over there, because we love to know more about you and stay connected beyond today's meeting. So at this point, I would like to invite the timer to post the timing report of our educational speaker as well as all the prepared speakers on the meeting chat, please. Oh, I see that coming. Thank you so much, Lee. I would also like to invite the Zoom Master to launch the poll for the best effort speaker. Thank you, Zoom Master. And while we're doing that, we are voting on that, we will now go to our evaluation section. Leading to this evaluation is someone who is very special to me. She has been a mentor, a source of wisdom, and someone whose guidance continues to inspire everyone in our own Toastmasters journey here at Leadership Speak. She is a leader who uplifts people not only through feedback, but through her presence and genuine support. Please help me welcome our General Evaluator for today's meeting, Gilda Shlah. Over to you, Gilda.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, our shining star, Nelly Jane Galido, for the introduction. And hello, greetings to everyone's fellow self-directed leaders and leadership, and our most valuable audience, our guests. General evaluation session is all about being elevated. The feedback that every speaker will receive from seasoned evaluators, it's nothing but motivating the speakers to excel and do better. The first thing I will do is we'll call evaluators for every speakers. And the second session in this evaluation, I will be calling the role players, the timer, and the grammarian to give us their reports. And at the end, I will give my assessment for the general meeting. So I will start now with calling the evaluators for every speaker. And our first evaluator is the Toast Evaluator. The toast was delivered by Toastmaster Aries Cassinela, and his evaluator is Toastmaster Nelly Ayodo. Nelly Ayodo said about the theme today: leadership is transition in transferring knowledge to next group of people for succession purpose. Nelly Ayodo The stage is yours to evaluate our toast, Aries Cassinela. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Today, I have the pleasure of evaluating Toastmaster Irish for the toast titled Leadership in Transition, Inspiring Through Change. Irish, I truly enjoyed your presentation. Your opening was strong and immediately captured my attention when you asked, have you ever transition is all about us. One of your greatest strengths was organization. Your speech had a clear structure. You explained the challenge of leadership transition, provided real-life examples, and concluded with practical solution because of the logical flow, and the audience could easily follow your ideas. You also had great storytelling. The example you gave about the phone call you received from your boss, telling you about your transitioning to a new job, was very commendable. Stories help audiences connect emotionally, and you used this technique effectively. Another strength you had was vocal variety. You changed your tone appropriately to emphasize the important points, especially when discussing about leadership change. This added energy and kept the audience engaged. I would like to recommend that you stand when you're giving your speech. This gives you more authority and engages the audience. Your gestures were natural and they helped enhance your message. Purposeful movement across Zoom or on the Zoom stage adds more dynamism to your delivery. Overall, your toast was very engaging. You demonstrated confidence, preparation, and a clear understanding of your topic. Your message about adapting change in leadership was relevant and inspiring. It elevated your toast. Thank you for you sharing your speech with us, and I look forward to hearing your next presentation. Back to you, Madam Toastmasters, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Nelly, for this detailed evaluation for the toast. We could see you are reading, and it's okay for an evaluator to read the comments they have written. And that was wonderful. The only thing I would suggest for your next evaluation is to give your feedback with clarity, to be more clear and to your points for evaluation. You said it at the end, but in the beginning you were like searching, but that's okay. It happens when we are writing notes and give evaluation. Otherwise, your evaluation was detailed and was very effective. Our second evaluator is the Toastmaster of the day. And the evaluator is Toastmaster Nellie. Marie said about the theme of today. Periods of change are very revealing of the true nature of each person in a team. The stage is all yours, Marie, to evaluate our Toastmaster of the day, Nellie Jane.
Thank you. Running a meeting on leaders in transition means accepting yourself to be in motion. Today, Nelly, with your beautiful announcer voice, you held that space with clarity and structure. And you gave us a solid framework in which to explore discomfort. Your opening was embodied. You didn't simply announce the theme. You set it as an invitation. And when you use Elevate to connect transition with opportunities for growth, it wasn't a word of the day, ticket of a list. It was a posture, a leadership posture. My improvement for today, transition between segments. That is where you turn slightly frayed at the edges. In an online international setting with participants of different linguistic and cultural levels, implicit transition can go unnoticed. One sentence is all it takes to pull the thread back tight. For example, what just happened here brings us right back to the heart of our team. Or when someone forgot to unmute her or himself, here it is our time in action. 3 seconds, eye contact with the camera. And you elevate the moment instead of simply passing through it. The second level to strengthen your leadership, activate your audience more. You manage the structure beautifully. Now you can raise the participation. A quick chat response, naming a participant or a direct question transforms a well-running meeting into a lived experience. In conclusion, you already have the presence. You already have the structure. The next step is to make your leadership as visible as it is real, so that every segment you introduce elevates not just the meeting, but every person in it. That is leadership speak. And ultimately, that is exactly what leadership speak in transition means. Not only guiding, but adapting so that others can move forward with confidence. Back to you, back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Marie, for your clear evaluation and complete evaluation. And I like the way how you demonstrated about when you were talking about eye contact, you had exactly the eye contact you meant. And that is very motivating. Thank you. Our next evaluator is Tony Bratschitsch, and he will be evaluating our leadership speaker. Tony, think of his thought of the theme today, leaders in transition, about leaders leading change. Tony, the stage is all yours to evaluate our leadership speaker, our president, Holmes Teng.
Yeah, thank you, E. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and especially you, Holmes. Holmes, your presentation mastery project challenged you to deliver a professional level keynote presentation, and you specifically asked me for feedback regarding clarity and effectiveness of your message. Now, professional speakers should tell the audience where they are going with this presentation, reinforce the core message repeatedly throughout the speech, and then finish with a strong takeaway. Now, in my opinion, your core message was very clear. You started your presentation by talking about change in your job with your new director, and yet you transitioned that change into the core message of this presentation. And in my opinion, it was choice. In other words, self-directed leaders choose on how to lead through constant change, because change is always constant. Now, you gave us the how with a rhetorical device, CAR, right? C-A-R, clarify, adapt, and relate. And once in the car, a good leader steers the car with vision. And that was critical to this. And your message was effective because you continually referred to the upcoming club elections for us to take advantage of this opportunity. And you elevated your message with great, beautiful camera positioning. You were always center, front and center. And the excellent visual background you had with those nice, colorful background with the words and your superb pacing with pauses. I heard every word. Suggestions for improvement. Just my idea to reinforce your core message. Tell us a person's story, right central to this, and use it to close your presentation with a powerful call to action that further elevates your core message. For example, a story of someone who underwent change. It could be yourself, a famous person, somebody. Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison, but he never lost sight of his vision and became a world leader. I could think of my neighbor who lost his job as a steel worker and became a paramedic, and now he's got a new vision. Or, as Gandhi said, be the change. So in conclusion, your presentation demonstrated not just the knowledge of your subject, but the ability to communicate clearly and effectively your core message that self-directed leaders choose to lead during change. And what's really important, Holmes, is that today's presentation reflects not just what your core message was during your presentation, but what you, Holmes, have done throughout this year as president of Leadership Speak. And throughout your leadership year, you have chosen to lead the membership and this club to elevate ourselves with success. So Holmes, you have walked the talk. And thank you for everything you have done. Back to you, GE.
Thank you, Tony, for your evaluation. Wonderful feedback and complete evaluation feedback to our leadership speaker today, educational speaker, our president, Holmes. One thing I will add to your evaluation, maybe the emotion, the true emotion that came out from our speaker. And you did say it, he walked the talk, but the emotion was very inspiring and elevating for all of us. Thank you. Our next evaluator is Toastmaster Udeshi Joseph, and she will be evaluating our first speaker, Rashmi Udeshi. Udeshi said about the theme, change is the only constant in life. As a leader, or as leaders, we are always in transition. Our job is to learn, to adapt, relearn, and adapt again. The stage is all yours, Udeshi, to evaluate our first speaker, Rashmi.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator Rashmi. Congratulations for your presentation today. You came at the lectern with excitement. We could feel that. Throughout your presentation, you remain captivated because you are telling a story, a beautiful story regarding you as a soccer team and how you survive to go to a soccer gain as well. Congratulations for that. As you asked me to look at the audience while you were presenting, everybody was waiting, like to listen. What is next? What is next about the story that you were telling? Congratulations for that. And you use your body language appropriately. You have visible hand gestures, and all your hand gestures help to convey the message. Typing, they goes, and you really use your hand appropriately. You have a pleasant facial expression. You are smiling, and your face shows all the emotion that you are talking about. Disappointment, the fear, the surprise that you have had for this particular game, for the particular moment. And as well for your vocal variety, you had a great tone. Your tone varied according to the emotion as well. Excitement, disappointment, fear, and so on. Your volume was appropriate. It was easy for us to hear you and to understand what you were saying. You had great eye contact doing all the presentation. You were looking at the camera, so you were looking at the audience. To elevate your presentation for the next time, I would like you to work on the story itself, because the story was too long. The story was the speech, and you didn't leave enough time to talk about the lesson learned and to really bring something to the audience. Because even it is your story, the presentation is for the audience. So it's what you bring to the audience, what they will keep after your presentation. Leave some time to really emphasize on the lesson learned and what you want the audience to keep when they are leaving. The other aspect that I would like you to manage your own visual aids. You want to present an image, get ready to present it. If you want help, tell the person, when you see the yellow card, please share this so that you don't take any additional time. And the other thing is put more emphasis on the audience. Other than that, the lesson that you brought at the end, in the day of uncertainty, there's always an angel to come to our rescue. That was a really great lesson for us to learn. I encourage you next time to work more on your storytelling skills. And that's all for me today. Congratulations. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Silly, for your evaluation. Complete evaluation you gave Rashmi today. However, I was reading the purpose of this speech for Rashmi is the use of vocal variety. How was her vocal variety used effectively in her speech? I'm positive you are going to include that in your written evaluation, because this is how Rashmi will be elevated even much better. The evaluation was complete, and thank you for that. Our next evaluator is Toastmaster Robin Stone, and he is evaluating the speech for Paramjit Singh. Robin said about the theme today. I've been a Toastmaster.
I'm not evaluating Paramjit. So
Okay.
It's Atul.
Let me see. Is it Atul there?
Yeah, Atul.
Oh, Atul. Okay. Atul is evaluating Toastmaster Paramjit. Atul, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gilda. Weathering the storm together, Toastmaster Paramjit. Your speech was really powerful. We really felt it because we all went the days of the war. The whole world felt it, and you were expressing it by heart, by true expression, and it is told true stories which are experienced connect people. We could really feel your connection and really felt your story. And meeting the purpose of the project is to remember to practice the skills needed to effectively communicate change to a group or organization, which you were able to do that. And the speech length is 5 to 7 minutes, whereas your time was 8 minutes and 4 seconds. I would really encourage you to work on the time because in Toastmasters, time is also a critical skill. We need to be within the time of the speech allocated plus or minus 30 seconds. The story was real and we really enjoyed it and we felt weathering the storm together. But I think a few things maybe you could really work on. Maybe you could have some quotations. You could work with one quotation at the start and the same quotation could repeat at the end, showing the message and have strategic pauses. Pause is a very powerful element that creates attention to people. And you could use some metaphors, you could use some quotations, you could use some prehistoric examples while speaking. And you could use the stage, the virtual stage, effectively from the left to right, right to left. And the expressions could be done with vocal variety because vocal variety really emphasizes your value of speech from high to low. It just creates attention when you have a long vocal variety. And I really challenge you to work on your humor because humor also connects people. Humor with a good story really connects people. But overall, we really enjoyed your story. We felt the pain and we felt it's not easy when you get your salary reduced and it's not easy when your work-life balance is reducing. And maybe you could add some call to action saying that however the storm is, we could all live and we should always be positive and live strong. And I really enjoyed your strong message was delivered. We really felt your emotions. And congratulations, Toastmaster Paramjit, and have a nice day. Back to you, Toastmaster Gilda.
Thank you, Atul, for your evaluation, complete evaluation. And what I enjoyed, and I was engaged with your pitch, your voice, and how effective it was. I'm sure it will elevate the speaker easily. Our final speaker is Ray Rivero with his presentation. And now his evaluator is Toastmaster Robin Stone. And Robin Stone, when he was asked about the theme, he said, I've been a Toastmaster for a long time, but I constantly experience transition, the need to transform. One day, perhaps. The stage is all yours, Robin, to evaluate the presentation of Ray Rivero.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. I trust that that day may never arrive. Ray, thank you for your presentation today on goal setting and planning from our leadership excellence series. And the trick with this, especially at our club, is how to elevate that material to a better level so that it talks to us who are all quite experienced Toastmasters. So that was the challenge. I set up three criteria against which to evaluate your presentation. One was, did it reflect your actual experience, not just giving us theory about goal setting and planning, as I've heard so many times. I think we've all heard that. Did you introduce us to any practical tools that that you use, and how engaging were you? So to start off with real experience beyond theory. I'm not going to deal with theory because you did touch on the theory, smart goal setting, and that sort of thing. I was really waiting for the meat, and you got there. You got into the meat, and you told us about your real experience of setting some Toastmasters goals, which are actually quite extraordinary goals, trying to complete all 11 paths within a relatively short period of time. I actually found that fascinating. Also, you did explain your why of doing that. And this is not something you had to do, this is something you chose to do. And you told us it's because of your commitment to the Toastmasters education that you wanted to have this experience. You also told us what happens, life happens, and with Toastmasters themselves changing the goalposts. Fascinating. Practical tools. You had to do some pretty detailed planning, and you explained that to us and appreciated that. But I would have appreciated what tools were you using? Were you just writing down a piece of paper? Were you using spreadsheets? I'm sure you were using spreadsheets. Or if you weren't, you probably should have been. I would have liked to have heard more about that. And the last criteria, were you engaging? Ray, let me just put it like this. I actually felt that I was sitting across the table from you and you were talking to me. You have a very engaging manner in the way you speak to us, and it's almost as if you are in the room. So well done. I really enjoyed this presentation. That can be so boring, but you elevated it to a very different level. Thank you very much. Back to you, General Evaluator.
You, Robin, for your evaluation, complete evaluations. I like your evaluation, and let me tell you why. Because you had an opening, a body, and a conclusion that it was like a 3-minute mini speech. Thank you. And I'm sure Ray has written all the notes and probably waiting for your written evaluation as well, because it's a long presentation and there are a lot to cover. But thank you very much. And now this mark the end of all the speeches. And now I would like to ask the timer to post the time of all the speakers of all the evaluators, in the chat box. And would like to call our grammarian, Toastmaster Rosie Renna, to give us her report, grammarian report. The stage is all yours, Rosie.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. We had an easy word of the day, and true to its form, it was used extensively. Lydia, Nelly Jane, Tony Bratschitsch, Nelly Ayodo, I can't even read. Marie Cousine, Tony, Gilda, Usley, Robin, in the chat, Bram, Ray, I'll give it to you, and Pacific from Rwanda, a guest. So that's really, really good. And I encourage you not to use it just today, but to use it throughout the week. In terms of figures of speech, because this is an advanced club and I don't want to get into small petty things, it doesn't make sense. The one that was used most were contrasts. Do not sink, swim. So the opposite. Yesterday ended, today is here. We must not deny them, we must accept them. Why are you taking a back seat? Take a front seat. We were looking right, we were looking left. So I thought that was really extensively used. We also saw good use of alliterations, which is when you have the same sound repeating. So stepping stones, there were also metaphors, silver spoon, or dilemma in making decisions, so the DD. I thought that was very good. Another good, some good sentences that stood out. A little thing called life dips in. at an almost at the most inopportune moment. I love that. In terms of the goals, are they realistic or are they a pie in the sky pipe dream? You better expect the unexpected. I mean, I really liked some of those sentences. Where we could do a bit better, I feel like, I'm not sure if I'm correct, but path and pathways seems to be used interchangeably. My understanding is pathways is the learning experience, but you work on a path. So presentation mastery path, not pathway and the like. So pathways is the whole platform of the learning experience. Another thing is you deliver a speech, you don't do a speech. I think this has been said before, and most of us were quite good at that, but that came out a few times. Voice it out. I think a better way of saying it is express your concerns or speak up. Yeah. Today I'm going to share you my story. Today I'm going to share my story, or I'm going to share my story with you. The company will be not at all judgmental. The company will not be judgmental. I gotta do, that tends to be probably slang or the way we speak, but it's I have to do. And then I believe brevity is very important. We tend to use a lot of words. I would like to recommend, for instance, it works, but I would recommend, or I recommend, cut the words, because the more brief you are, less is more and more powerful it will be. I really enjoyed your message. You can enjoy a speech, you can enjoy a story, but you found a message valuable, or I appreciated your message. I can see the red light, so thank you very much. It's been my pleasure. Back to you, Madam GE.
Thank you, Rosie, for your detailed grammarian role. And thank you, our timer, Holly, for posting the time in the chat box. And now I would like to ask our master to post the best effort evaluator for all to vote on it. Whenever you're ready. And at the end here, I will give my feedback for the general meeting. Leadership speak meetings are usually rehearsed. They don't come on Saturday and everybody just demonstrate their role. We rehearse the speakers rehearse their speeches and all role players. The only person who doesn't rehearse is the greeter. And today, our greeter, Toastmaster Sandra, distinguished Toastmaster Sandra, she came and made everybody, members of the club and guests, feel so comfortable and so welcomed to this meeting. And that is one of a kind greeting method, especially when she talked about a breakfast. And it was almost 7 o'clock or around 7 o'clock at my time. And I just listed my favorite breakfast. That was well done, Toastmaster Sandra, for the way you greeted all of us. Everybody was on time. We had all role players. The role players, they demonstrated their roles. The speakers started with beautiful takeaway, effective takeaway, and messages for us to take. Questions were done, seasons, evaluators. Everything was on time. Everything was inspired. I hope our guests have put in the chat box or in the form your feedback, because this is how we all get elevated with our guest feedback. All in all, the meeting was excellent. Toastmaster of the day had prepared ahead of time. Agenda was done ahead of time, as usual in leadership speak. And mostly I enjoyed today as a member of this club and as an audience, our leadership educational speaker presented by our President Holmes. I think we all were inspired and we've taken many takeaways from his presentation. Thank you all. And back to you, our shining star, Toastmaster of the Day, Nellie Jane Galido.
Thank you so much, our General Evaluator, Gilda. The evaluation section is always carry both wisdom and encouragement that challenges us to improve and elevate ourselves on our next stages. So now, before we close our meeting, let us pause for one final reflection. Transitions may be uncomfortable, but discomfort often means growth is happening. And to help us reflect more deeply on today's theme, let us welcome our thought of the day, Rosie Rana. Over to you, Rosie.
No, wasn't me.
No, it's Lynn's. It's her Lynn.
Oh, my bad. For our thought of the day, once again, take two. For our thought of the day, let us welcome Helen Hamok. Over to you.
The theme of today's meeting is leaders in transition. When I think about transition, I think about moments in life when we feel uncertain. Sometimes we start a new role, enter a new environment, or face unexpected changes. These moments can feel uncomfortable because we are leaving something familiar behind while not fully knowing what comes next. Today's theme reminds me that leadership is not only about being strong when everything is clear and stable. Leadership becomes even more important during uncertainty. Leaders learn to adapt, to keep learning, and to move forward even when the path is not completely visible. One idea from today's meeting is that we are at a point of change as we transition leadership within our club. There will be many changes, not only for the past committee, but also for the upcoming committee. This moment gives us an opportunity as leaders to embrace vulnerability, uncertainty, adaptability, genuine human connection, and the courage to step forward, contribute to a shared vision, and elevate one another. So today's thought is this. Leadership is about becoming the kind of person who can grow through change. Thank you. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Helene. And now, it's time for us to recognize the shining stars of today's meeting. I request our PR master to post the best effort speaker. And that is Holmes Teng, our leadership educational speaker. And for our best effort evaluator, we have Tony. Congratulations, Tony. Congratulations, Holmes. And just like that, our journey in today's meeting is slowly coming to an end. But before we officially close this meeting, I want to thank every single one of you. To our guests, our members, speakers, evaluators, and to all our role players. Today, we did not just simply talk about leadership. We reflected on change, we embraced uncertainty, and we explore what it truly means to grow through transition. Because leadership is not about staying the same forever. Leadership is about evolving with courage while keeping the heart of who we are. So whatever transition you may currently be facing right now, it may be a new role, a new position, responsibility, a new beginning. I hope today this meeting reminded you that growth is possible in there too. So always remember, the strongest leaders are not those who avoid change. They are the ones who are willing to grow through it. Before we officially close, it's time to hear from our president to address the most important people in our meeting, our guest. Please join me in welcoming our president, President Holmes.
Thank you, TMOD. Guest, to the extent that it is convenient for you, it would be lovely if you can have both your camera as well as your microphone on when I call upon you for some feedback. I may not call upon every single guest today because right after the meeting, we will have the club elections, which is only for members. So those who are being called upon, it would be great if we can have a short interaction. Firstly, Doris Montuku, are you available? Doris?
Yes, I'm available.
Hi, Doris.
Pacific.
Oh, Pacific. How do you
Yes.
find the meeting?
Come again?
How do you find the meeting today?
The meeting, sir. It's my great honor to thank Miss Madam Lydia for inviting me for today's meeting, and it's my first time to be here. And I come from Rwanda, the land of thousand hills. I'm a member of Trace Toastmasters, and I wish I can stay here because I love the environment, I love the speakers, the evaluation, I love everything, how is it done digitally, because it's my first time to attend the online Toastmasters meeting, and I would love to keep coming and grow as also an international speaker. Thank you so much. Unless you want to ask me a question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pacific. It is our honor and our pleasure to have fellow Toastmasters like yourself visit us. And yes, do consider joining us. Thank you so much. Evelyn Krish, are you available?
Yes, I'm available.
Hi, Evelyn. How are you? How do you find the meeting today?
I am doing fine, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk today. I've come to your meetings on and off. I'm a Toastmaster, and some of my regular meetings are on Saturday, and I'm looking to transition to your club maybe next year. But I thought the meetings were fantastic. Holmes, I listened to you a few times, and I am so touched how you can express yourself. So I'm very glad that I came to this meeting. And of course, the evaluations, I thought they were great. It was actually very hard for me to pick out number one. There was like 3 ties for number one. So I do appreciate it. It seems like you have a great group, really interested, excuse me, in growing myself as a speaker. I look forward to touching base with you in the future.
Thank you so much, Krish. Thank you so much, Evelyn. Definitely, we should have further conversations when you are available and when you are ready. We will be waiting for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's see. Michael Jose, are you available?
Good morning. Yes, thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Holmes. Well, today we had a wonderful meeting. I heard speaker 1, 2, 3, they're all wonderful. And especially you had to present educational speech, which was also very impressive. Learned a lot from you. And also today you can see me with the background of leadership speak on my camera. I use the virtual camera that enable me to have this kind of function. So I hope that I can be here again and again to enjoy such a wonderful meeting. Get over to you, President Holmes.
Thank you so much, Michael. You are always welcome to continue to visit us. Thank you so much. Perhaps maybe one more. Let's see. Sashini Stone, are you available?
Hello, Toastmaster.
Hello, Sashini.
I'm having a little cold, but yes, I am available.
How do you find the
as
meeting?
As usual, I love to visit your club. The information that you got, the educational piece today, I thought was particularly interesting and applicable to every area of life. So I really loved that. Your speakers are always top tier. So I appreciate the experience and being exposed to that. And of course, just visiting, this is one of the best uses of my Saturdays. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having such an amazing experience.
Thank you so much, Sashini. You're welcome to continue to visit us. Guest, for today, I will put a pause. I wouldn't say stop, I would say pause here. And we will definitely be able to continue the interaction in future meetings whenever you are available. There will also usually be post-meeting discussions where we sometimes also have table topics. It's just that for today, due to the club elections, I have to put this a little bit shorter than usual. Once again, I like to say, guests, you are always the most important people in the meeting room to leadership speak. We are honored to have you. We are happy to have you. And please continue to visit us. With that, I like to, for today's purposes, I will end the meeting instead of the usual TMOD. I hereby call this as the end of the chapter meeting. I like to have the meeting recording as well as the live streaming stopped. Thank you so much.